Hey friends, welcome to the Stray Podcast, where two unrich, unfamous, semi-talented real people aimlessly move from topic to topic without course.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Jason. Today's topic is...
Dating.
Ooh,
So we're going to talk about dates.
Horror stories.
Love.
Stories with horrors.
Or vice versa.
Oh, man. Stephanie, how was your weekend?
It was great.
It was so beautiful.
It was St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yes,
and
it was.
You know me.
It was.
I am an ex-Irish dancer. I used to compete on a professional level. So therefore, St. Patrick's Day is a very big deal. I'm what you call a Mexican-Irish inside.
I'm Mexican-Irish too. My dad's Mexican.
You are literally, yes, you are literally Mexican-Irish. I am just in my head. Full Mexican, but it's soul-wise Irish. Top of the morning to
I have definitely some Irish in me. Friday night was uneventful. I didn't do anything. I had spin class.
Right.
Unionride.com with a Y.
With a Y. Unionride.com.
Saturday, speaking of dating, I met my partner's parents, aunt, and siblings.
Tell me how that went.
Tell. I'm usually not as nervous meeting parents because I'm a really good first impressioner. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
I give really good first impressions.
Yes, you do. Yes, I can totally agree with that.
So, the only thing that made me nervous about this one in particular was the age difference.
Right.
His siblings are younger than my siblings. He's younger than my siblings. So there's kind of a big age gap. I'm older for that disclosure.
But age is nothing but a number. Always remember that, ladies. Age is nothing but a number.
And gentlemen.
And gentlemen, of course.
Yes.
Exactly.
I know, it's because it's different for me. It's just different.
As long as you're over 18 in the state of California. Let's just say that.
Well, no, in the U.S.
I'm not speaking for those other states. But yes, in the U.S. Let's just go ahead and do that. Say that.
So I got to the restaurant, kind of early. I had a drink just to kind of, just to settle me down a little bit.
Right.
And I see them walking in. I see him with his mother. And actually, his mother reminds me a little bit of my mom, which was kind of comforting.
I love your mom. Yes.
Yeah, I love her mom, too. She's a good time. But I just got that feeling from her. She reminded me of my mother. So, and then his siblings came in, and then his aunt came in, and then his dad came in, and they were so welcoming, so warming, so asking a lot of questions. Right. Obviously, because they want to get to know me.
Yes, playing a little detective
and to make
work,
sure,
of course. Yes,
that I'm going to be nice to their son and protect their son, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So the lunch was a great lunch. I mean, my partner told me that they enjoyed my company and that they liked me, so that was perfect.
Who wouldn't?
Well,
exclamation mark!
Well, we'll get to those stories later. So it was really nice, and it was nice to meet. And then after, we met up with his sister again, and that was nice. I mean, his dad, is really warming. His mom is really warming. They had it was good conversation during lunch, so
good
it was
vibes.
nice. Yes.
Good vibes.
Yeah, my nervousness went away quickly.
Good.
So,
good.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, nothing beats the fact that I met my father-in-law on my wedding day.
What?
Yes.
Wait. Your husband's father?
Yes.
You did not meet him till your wedding day?
Correct.
Did you know he was coming?
Honestly, it was a 50-50 chance. Let's just say that my husband and his father used to not have that father-son relationship at the time.
Okay.
I had only heard stories about it, about him, and it didn't go beyond that, which is, perfectly fine. Everybody has their own things. So I told him, you know what? Are you going to invite your dad? Are you not? Not that he would need an RSVP because, let's face it, I'm Mexican and we don't do that kind of shit. We just go
you just show up?
Yeah, exactly. We know that Tia Juana is going to show up with her husband and her 30 sons or children, whatever,
Is it racist to say that that a Latino car is like a clown car.
It is absolutely not.
Okay.
At least not for me.
I mean,
because
I'm
I've been in that situation.
But I feel that whenever a Latino shows up, they come up in a car and they just keep...
Oh, honey, you should have seen us. We went to Hawaii over last summer, and we fit 6 people in a 4-people car. Yes, I am not kidding, just to save on the actual car rental. Oh, I love you all Hawaiian people out there. Aloha.
Which means hello and goodbye.
Hello and goodbye. And ohana, which means family. But anyhow, I met him for the first time during on my wedding day after we had said our I do's. And
well, no, but tell me how it
happened. So what it was, okay, so I had only heard stories about him, which is great, amazing stories about my husband's father. And I finally asked him, are you going to invite him? The relationship just wasn't there. And so I said, well, you know what? Just drop off the invite at his mailbox and just leave. So
in person?
In person. So I drove up with him up to his home. And I said, you know what? Just leave it in his mailbox. It was already after hours. It was already like 10 o'clock. I'm like, we're not going to be knocking on the door like some strangers,
Yeah.
Or
it's not Halloween.
It's not. it's just not. No. So I said, just leave it on the mailbox and
excuse me, sir. Do you have some tajin
to go with my chocolate? So just leave it there. We left it. It was about 2 weeks before the wedding. We didn't hear back. We didn't hear anything from him. Not a peep. And wedding day comes, and my husband had already been there for the greater part of the day, just waiting for me, of course. And I played with his emotions. I said, no, not yet. Don't leave yet. I want him to, build a suspense in him. Is she coming? Is she not coming? Is she coming? Is she not coming? So I finally said, okay, let's go. And as I walk down the aisle and I see his, bright smiling face, and then all of a sudden at the end of our I do's, and as we walk back out, everybody's congratulating us and giving us hugs and taking pictures. And then I finally see somebody that I don't know, obviously because my family is like 300 plus and his family's only 2. So I'm like, I don't know who you are, sir. And
That's
he's
crazy.
like, oh, and he said, that's my dad right there. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I'm like,
so you never saw a picture of him?
I had never seen a picture. I had seen a picture from like a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
So I figured that he probably didn't look the same in present day. So I said, oh, pleased to meet you, Mr. So-and-so. Thank you so much for coming. And, we hope you'll join us for our reception dinner. He didn't, but that's all right.
He left right after the ceremony.
He left right after the ceremony, but
Okay.
he was there for the most important part, and he was. My husband started, just a little tear fell down, but I didn't see any tears when I was walking down the aisle. That's the thing. I call him out on that all the time. So
that's called fear.
He was like, "Oh shit, do I really want to do this?"
He was on the phone with the life insurance company.
Do not include her if anything happens to me. Do not. But yeah, so we just said our hellos and goodbyes, and he went on his way. And about a month afterward, we actually set up like a real lunch date, and that's when I officially met him. And we started chatting about just random stuff. He's actually a alumni from the same college I graduated from. So it's really cool.
Long Beach.
Yes, Cal State Long Beach.
Whoop, whoop.
What? Long Beach peeps out there. Whoop, whoop. So, go Miners. So we try to meet up with him at least once a month or so. At least I try to push him to meet up with him at least once a month.
Okay.
And to keep that relationship going, which is, essential for all children and their parents to move forward with the relationship or whatnot.
I love that.
But yeah, so that was, I can totally relate with you feeling that kind of sense of nervousness.
Yeah. He caught you by surprise. He jumped out like Pennywise.
Yeah. I try to plan it out with like a exact location where when my husband and I first started dating, I said, okay, let's go ahead and give it a few weeks before you actually meet my parents. Actually, at this point, it was just my mother and another significant family member of the family. So I just said, well, let's go ahead and give it a few weeks, and then we'll set a lunchtime date. At that time, we were working in the same building. So we finally did, and my family finally met him. And
love it.
So, yeah, that went, but I
Love.
totally relate with that nervousness.
Yes.
God, I wish I could have had like a beer at that fish taco place that I was at the time.
My partner and I, my current partner that I have now, we met on, I know that a lot of people nowadays meet their significant others on apps or online.
I met mine at work.
Okay, wait, you met your current person at work?
Correct.
You did?
I did. Yep.
Okay, wait, okay, I'll get back to mine. Continue?
Yeah. So we worked in the same building.
Oh, the same, okay, yeah.
Same building. For two different companies at the time. Mm-hmm. I worked in another level floor, and he worked in the lower level floor, which is ironic because, yes, I'm better than him. But so we did meet there, and it was so funny because we would cross paths during our break time. I'd purposely go down there.
Gross.
Under to the lower level where he was working at, just to get coffee. I didn't need coffee at the time. I was like getting like 5 cups a day or 10 cups a day or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted him to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And finally he caught my ear, actually, when he started listening to this band I used to like.
The Straight podcast?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, you know what? It wasn't that. God, I made a mistake now. So, finally, we started talking. We kind of crossed paths in the break room, and it was funny because I remember like catching like getting my coffee at the Keurig and just kind of standing like at a very like, you know, slimming my stomach in.
Yep.
Popping up that chest and just, you know, peacocking and just like flaunting my
showing
hair.
Your feathers.
Exactly, all of it. And he's like sitting in the break room and reading a magazine, and he's just like tapping his foot and listening to, dare I say, the band name that he was listening to.
I won't know who they are.
Well, they're a rock band. I don't know if you know the Avenged Sevenfold.
What?
No. They're Avenged Sevenfold.
Absolutely not.
Really great band to listen to. I used to listen to them back in the day.
If it doesn't start with Celine and end in Beyonce, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. So that's how we started talking about, like, you listen to Avenged Sevenfold? Yes, I do. Oh my gosh, I met them at one time, blah, 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 blah. And, you know.
And we just lost all our listeners.
No, we just gained listeners. Avenged Sevenfold, y'all. A7X for life.
Shit. So my guy and I met on this app, a gay app called Grindr. Mm-hmm. Yes. But we met as a hookup. So we met almost a year ago, and like for like 6 or 7 months we were just hooking up. But as it got, I guess, a little bit more down the line, he would stay the night, I would stay the night, he was cooking me meals, we were getting food, we were watching Netflix, actually watching Netflix.
Right.
I mean, after the deed, but
Netflix,
it was still...
chill and Netflix.
Yes.
Not Netflix and
Correct.
chill.
It was growing into something different, and...
Right.
There was one point where he was like, well, it's Thanksgiving, can I make you dinner? But not on Thanksgiving, like before Thanksgiving,
right.
Like pre-Thanksgiving dinner. And he's never cooked for me before, and I was like, okay, hold up, wait a minute, bish. I was like, well, I like you, and... Because in my mind, I'm like, if you're making me meals, that's, like, personal.
Another level.
It is another level.
Uh-huh.
And here we are still thinking, and also our texts got a little bit more personal too.
Of course.
We would ask about each other's lives. So, I told him, I go, hey, you know what, I like you. Like, how do you feel? And he goes, I like you too. And I go, then we brought up the age difference, and it was his concern too in the beginning.
Right.
Was that, as with mine.
Robbing the cradle here.
Yes. So.
Still love it.
Me too. So then we started talking, and then I go, well, let's just give it like a day just to think about, like, what should we do? Whatever. So then the next day we talked again, like, okay, well, let's just date and see what happens.
Right.
So we did. Mm-hmm. And then a couple months later, then we called each other boyfriends. And then now we tell each other that we love each other. Because I do. Yes. So, it's just, it's...
That's more of a Kodak moment right there.
So that's my current situation, but girl, I have some stories for you.
I am very, very excited. See,
Have you ever used apps or online?
I've never done them, and I think I came way late in the game because I started dating my current husband when I was 22, so I didn't even get the chance to get a lot of datings. And I think that's when dating apps were kind of getting a lot of momentum and starting to mainstream at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I did my dates the old-fashioned way where we would meet someplace. I know I went out with like a few people that I met at the gym. Some people that I met at work, but were just never went anywhere.
Did they ask you out?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were always like I don't know if I want to say misleading because why did you invite me out to a place if that's not what you had in mind or that's not what you intended? Mm-hmm. So I had quite a few, you want to call them dates or like hangouts. At this point, I want to call them hangouts because they never led to that official dating per se. Because there's some kind of energy. Mm-hmm. There's always energy when you date per se. So I'm like, well, then why did you invite me? So that was always the aftermath. I'm like, was it something that I said? Was it something that I did? Which is fine, whatever. Just didn't meet them after all. So, but that was just my experience. But I'm curious to know on the apps end how your experience was.
Well, with the apps, obviously you go for looks first because obviously you have a picture up. Some people don't. But then I feel that on Grindr, it's sex first and then see what happens. Which it might also be for the straight apps too. Sex first and then see what happens.
Yeah. What is it, Tinder out there? Is that one of the apps out there?
Yeah, I've only used Grindr, and then for the older people, I've used gay.com and Adam for Adam, which are all gay-related dating apps.
Right.
But I mainly have used Grindr.
Okay.
So, I feel that when you're on an app, you will only be hit up if that person finds you attractive and or what you put in your profile sounds intriguing.
Right.
Whatever. So, some horror stories. I have many, many, many horror stories. I remember one time I met up with a guy. I've sent him pictures and they were current pictures. And we meet. He walks up to me and he goes, "Oh, I don't think this is going to work out." Without even saying hello.
What?
Yes.
No.
He literally.
Are you kidding me? No.
He literally walked up to me and said that, which is fine. Okay, I mean, looking back on it now, I was devastated at the time.
Oh,
because that's a huge ego downer because of the fact that I've sent him pictures and that he just walks up to me and says that. Now, again, looking back on it, maybe he made another engagement and that person looked better. He was just like, okay, well, let me start that one early and get this one done quick.
No.
I mean, I've walked up to people and you get that first feeling from them.
Right.
So I've also walked up to people and I was not into them right away.
Right.
Looks-wise.
Yeah.
Their pictures maybe were deceiving or maybe they were old pictures. So, but at least I will have tea with that person and or dinner with that person. Right. And then after, I'll be like, you know what? I'm not feeling this. I'll leave.
Right.
Most guys don't take that well. Okay? I will say when I was younger, if I was rejected, I would always get passive-aggressive about it.
Right.
As an adult, I don't care.
Right. Yeah, it changes.
Older person, sorry.
It changes.
Adult.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Absolutely.
You're not into me? Great.
Yeah.
Don't lead me on.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me right away.
Exactly.
After the first date, how do you feel?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Those first dates that I had gone on to, it's like, why did you invite me in the first place? If that's not where you were headed. If you were just friend zoning me, like you should have just like, sorry.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, on the apps it's a little different because you don't get personality until you actually meet, like real personality.
Right.
So,
these are people that I had actually spoken to and talked to for like months on end.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny part is? Like, this is what gets me, like, so mad, that I never initiated the invite. It was always on their end. And this is what, like, really pissed me off. And one of the other dates that I had gone on were people either from, like, high school at the time that I had not seen in a long time, like, which is fine. You know, it's always great to keep up and touch up. But, I mean, there was this guy at the time who, like, I had dated during high school, and then, like, we broke it off, and then met again, and it just went like plush. Yeah, it just went like, it was just a disaster at that end. So I'm like, oh, it's fine, you know, like, finally I'm like, I give up on this. Like, I don't even know what the heck guys are, like, looking for at this point. But I think some of the ladies out there can relate to that, and some of the men out there can relate to that too. Like, why did you initiate it in the first place? If you just wanted to friend zone me, I was like, oh, stop.
Well, sometimes I think with that, I think that they want to get laid.
Of course.
So they'll see if they can get laid on the first date. If they don't, then they're just like, I just want to get laid.
But you know what, honey? I was very willing to, and that never got to that point.
Oh, shit, bitch. I will say that I have been on many, I can't even tell you how many dates that I thought in my head that went really well. Mm-hmm. Great conversation. Maybe we had sex, maybe not. But it felt like a really good date. It felt like a really good connection.
Right.
But then I never hear from them again.
It just died. It just, what?
Like, I'll text them and
they ghosted you.
Crickets. Yes. They absolutely ghosted me. And I will say, being in Orange County, no shade against LA guys. Well, my partner lives in LA.
Right.
But I will say most guys that you date in LA don't want to make it to Orange County. They feel like it's very far. But I do understand why they think that, because in LA, it takes you so long to get to places.
Yes.
So say you just want to go to Target one day.
Yeah.
It takes you like 35 minutes to get to Target. While in Orange County, it takes us like, what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes?
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Because there's Targets everywhere.
I agree with that completely.
So they feel that if it takes them 35 minutes to get to a Target that's in their same city, Orange County, quote unquote, takes you forever. When I know the right times to go to LA, it'll take me about 40-45 minutes.
That alone, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Target parking lot was already charging by like 6 p.m. I absolutely hate going to LA for that reason. Parking should be free for anyone and everyone throughout the nation. I don't know why
they charge you for parking in LA because there's not enough space.
Well, too bad. Why do you keep building out there? Why do you keep building out in places where
LA's
it's already
old.
Overpopulated? Stop building them. That's all I'm saying. I know it's never going to happen.
You do know that the parking charge is going to come to Orange County eventually too, right?
Oh, I hope not.
Everything trickles down. The bag situation, the straw situation.
Here's to Lake Elsinore where I'm like moving to. By the way, did you hear about the... Well, okay, so I turned on the radio this morning, and did you hear about the the amounts of poppy seeds, flowers that are like popping out? The California poppy is like popping out in like all over...
Wait, poppy as in P-A-P-I?
Probably. I have no idea. But they're out in like Elsinore in these like wilderness parks, and everybody's going out there for like Instagram photo shoots, and I'm like, some of them are like a little like way.
Well, no, because of the rain that we've had this past 8 weeks.
Yeah,
Orange County
blooming.
is very green.
They're blooming.
The Inland Empire is very green. Our mountains are full of snow.
Yes,
the most we've ever had. It's crazy. Like, the pictures are amazing. They're all orange and green.
It was 80 degrees yesterday. Tomorrow it's gonna rain.
Well, I went to Disneyland yesterday.
You did?
I did.
Oh my! Why did you not tell me this? Please do
Shout
share.
out to Robert and Sarah.
Yes.
My Disneyland connections, because I will never pay it again to that place. But it was a lot of fun. I went with my partner. It was a beautiful day. It's Disneyland is way overpriced.
Can't relate.
I feel that the corporation of Disney makes so much money.
Of course.
If they want to be a sponsor, I will gladly follow along with your script. But I just feel that Disney is so expensive, so overpriced. Everything is so overpriced, but that corporation makes so much money. It's insane.
But dearie, All magic comes with a price.
Did you say dairy?
No, dairy.
Oh, dairy.
All magic comes with a price, quote unquote.
What magic? I'll show you magic right now.
No, if you're
For
talking
free.
about it better involve a deck of cards or a top hat.
It's gonna involve the deck.
That's what I didn't want to go to. Oh man.
Yeah, our laugh track. Sorry. But yeah, no, it was fun. It was still fun. It was just a beautiful day. It was very chill.
I think really right now they have the food and wine festival right now. Do you guys try anything of that?
Yes, my partner tried Parmesan chicken.
Yes,
it was pretty good.
Wings? Yes, yes. The only thing the issue that I have with that is that there's very small appetizer portions, and you're paying like a full meal at that point. Yep. It's so hard. I would recommend if you're really going there for the food and wine festival to purchase the entire package, which includes like so-and-so tickets for a certain amount of money, like I think $150 or something, or like $100 something.
Girl, maybe
$50, maybe. Okay. I don't know. But you can choose.
List out just real quickly, so we can get back on the subject. List out a couple life hacks of Disney. Okay,
so when you're at Disney, I would recommend for you to go to any restaurant that actually you can go up to the counter and just get a cup of water. Just get a cup of water and take it with you. Keep it. Do not throw it out. And then for lunch, if you're there during the day or dinner, go to the restaurant that's inside the hotel, the Grand California Hotel. I will not name the name. It is not the Storybook or the Napa Valley.
And they're not a sponsor.
And they're not.
But neither is Grindr.
It's the other one. Take it in there with you, and you can just say you already paid for a drink and get a drink there, so you don't have to pay for it again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Number two, life
hack number 2 for Disney. Always, if you are in a big group, order children's size menus or children's size items. They will not tell you, like, where's your child? I don't see them. Just say, they're sitting out with dad or sitting out with mom, and just order the children's quesadilla or the burrito or the sandwich for a child size. I want to say, it'll be a lot cheaper, and you'll get a good meal out of it too.
And you get discounts from your season pass too.
Yes, you do get discounts with your season pass. And then also, life hack number 3 for Disney. If you're really, really on a budget, go to the Bodine's sourdough bread factory. Get your 2 slices of free bread. Walk across the way to Ghirardelli's, get your free piece of chocolate, and you can get a free sourdough chocolate sandwich.
I love Ghirardelli. Ghirardelli is my favorite chocolate.
It is delicious.
Yes.
And if you don't like the piece of chocolate that they are currently giving you at the entrance, you can always exchange it. So if you just drop it back in the bucket and grab the one that you want, it'll be free. There you go.
Back on subject.
And one more. God, Disney California Adventure. That's the only place where you can get alcohol. Just FYI. FYI.
Okay, so dating relationships.
Oh.
Do you ever judge someone else's relationship? I will say that I do.
I do.
I will say, but I try not. I think I judge them more when I'm not in relationships. I judge them more. I feel that couples fight a lot.
Yes.
When it comes to very small things.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying my hardest to go into this new relationship that I have now not doing that.
Okay, that's good. That's
small things.
Perfect.
Okay, because I feel that puts a damper and resentment on relationships later. And it puts I want to say a filter on a relationship.
Yes.
Because they are hesitant on doing things or saying things because they know that might irritate me.
Absolutely.
And also me irritate them.
Absolutely. Some advice that I can give out is when you're early, fresh in the relationship, especially when you're going out on those first dates or first few dates, always have a friend that the friend, hopefully she's listening to this, she can relate. So when I first started dating, I said, listen, if you don't get a call, or keep your phone on until 10 o'clock. If you don't hear from me, then everything's fine. But if by 10 o'clock, just send me like a quick text. How's everything going? If that's the case, if the date's going wrong or whatever's happening is going wrong, then that's kind of like your saving point, where she'd be like texting you like, oh, so-and-so has an emergency, I have to go. And it's usually a friend. So I would have those friends like, hey, if you don't hear from me by 10 o'clock, just text me or send me a call and I will answer. And that usually means like, she has an emergency and I have to go.
Yes.
So those are my saving calls. The other thing would be to set a timer as well. I would send an alarm and just say, oh shoot, you can set it up to any kind of random ring.
Alarm, you know what I mean?
To
what, go off when...
To go off at a certain time.
So you're judging the date at a certain time, and
Correct.
if I need to
if
exit...
it doesn't go out, if it doesn't go well, or it doesn't go as planned, the alarm will go off, and we'll say, you know what, so-and-so just texted me, I have to go.
But why can't you just tell me you're not feeling it? Because that's what I do.
I don't know.
That's what I do now. I'm sorry. I didn't used to do that. Before, I would make an excuse.
Those excuses,
when I was in my 20s, I would say, my mom texted me, or I have to go for this reason. But now I just tell them, hey, I'm not feeling it.
But like, not all of us have that confident level yet, where we're able to say, you know what, it's not working out. Yeah. Some of us are very new at the dating game, which was me at the time, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going out with this guy, but I mean, I don't know how it's going to go. And it's sometimes where you kind of do see some potential, but you don't really want to give it all away on the first night. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean, because I know there's some dates that went very well, and it was like, whoo, went skyrocketed.
No, I had someone tell me the first day that they were filing for bankruptcy.
Nice! Bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Chapter 8?
I don't know. I was just like, oh, that's unfortunate. Like, I mean, I feel for people that are going through hard times, but I'm just like, I don't think that you should tell someone that on the first date.
Right.
Like, that's not a
You
first
should
date
have a little filter on your first date.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely agree. Like let's not go ahead and go into like, oh, I'm currently filing for divorce. Let's go ahead and avoid it. And if you are, you probably shouldn't be dating at
or
this
I'm
time.
Dating.
Or
I've been told that too. I'm dating right now, so I'm just kind of like seeing what's happening.
Lovely.
I'm like, okay, so that means I'm in line?
Yeah, and maybe on the first date, like, do mention if you do have kids, because I've been on that situation before where it's like, oh, like by the third date, it was like, what? You didn't know you had, or you have kids, and I didn't know that. So that's another situation that you want to avoid awkwardness. So might as well bring it up front. But I get those people, male or female, who are not as confident to tell them, you know what, it's just not working out, because they feel like a little sense of like they're nervous, or they just don't know how to deal with that yet. And us as older people, we obviously like, you know what, it's not working out. Bye, see ya. But like anybody who's like new in the dating phase, they're still like on that nervous level or platform where because as you get older, you understand that everyone is rejected. Correct. Everyone is rejected. At that point, you just don't want to accept it. Yes. And everyone gets rejected. Exactly. So it's a little hard, but I mean, these are just tips for those like newbies that are coming into the dating scene. Like, always have like a friend to just call you at a certain time. Like, hey, if you don't hear from me, send me a quick text or send me a quick call. And if I don't answer, then everything's fine. If I do answer, you better be there to save me, girlfriend, or you better be there to save me, boyfriend, okay? So, I mean, those are just some tips or tricks. And always let the man pay. I'm sorry, but always let the man pay. For all you straight women out there, let him pay. No 50-50ing it. No sharing whatever appetizers. No, he better wine and dine the shit out of you, okay? I will say. Just saying. When it comes to... okay, well, speaking of that, then what are some deal breakers? Is a deal breaker if you went on a first date and the guy asked you to go 50-50, is that a deal breaker? It's a deal breaker for me. Really? It's a deal breaker, because I mean, like, if you don't see it, I'm like, oh, shit, where is this
See
gonna
what?
go from? Like if
The
you're
deck,
not, if
the
you're not,
deck of cards.
the deck of cards. If you're not paying for me right now, then what the fuck can I expect by the second relationship? Oh, sorry, I get paid on the 15th, and that's probably when I can take you to Benihana and not McDonald's.
Oh my gosh. That's not a deal breaker for me. I have been on many first dates where we've gone 50-50, and I've been paid for, and I have paid.
Yeah.
That's not a deal breaker for me. A deal breaker for me is smoking cigarettes. I'm no shade. I'm not a fan of cigarettes. Real cigarettes, the actual cigarettes. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
Although
I did used to smoke, but not anymore, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah. I have been on dates where I've had to pick them up. That's a little
That's
bit of
not a deal breaker for me. That's not a deal
okay.
breaker. I'm okay with that. I can pick them up. Yeah.
No shade. I know people go through hard times, and I know money is hard, but if I have to pick you up, I'm just foreseeing our relationship being me as, like, I have to pick you up all the time.
Correct.
And you usually will always have to come to my place. Or I guess if someone doesn't have a car, but yet they have their own place, I'll always have to go to them, and I will always be driving.
Right.
So I probably sound like a bitch right now, but I want a guy with a car.
I'm the one who first sounded like a bitch right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's a total deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
No, like...
I don't mind if they have roommates or live with family because I have my own place. So that just means that they can just always come to my place.
Yeah.
Or if their family's okay. I think a deal breaker for me is that I would not want to have sex in your parents' home.
Oh.
So that's just a little... for me, personally...
Oh.
I feel a little weird when, like, your mom and dad or aunt, uncle, or cousins. I think if you lived with a sibling, I think that's fine. Siblings are a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think it's just when a parental
guardian or something like that.
Kind of like a parental
facade or
role.
something. Role. Yeah. Role.
It makes me a little weird. But I mean, again, that person can just always come to my place. Like, it's better for me.
I think when it gets to the 50-50 splitting, I think it should be like when you're like a good 6 months into the relationship.
What? So you want a guy paying for you the whole 6 months?
Yeah.
Girl.
Why not?
Girl.
Believe me, my husband went broke for the first 6 months.
I do not agree with that. No.
Oh.
I would never pay for a guy for the first 6 months.
And if that's the case, the guy should know when to ask you out on payday.
Absolutely not. Girl.
No, yeah, like, believe me, right now I'm sounding more like the bitch right now, but...
Another deal breaker for me, I would say maybe hygiene.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you have to shower.
Yes.
I mean, I love the natural scent of a man, but
so as do I.
Not like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another deal breaker. Another deal breaker is when they talk about just themselves and what they own, what they have. Like that, I've been on a date many times where someone would like be talking about their car, the brands. It was always brand.
Well, you're lucky.
That is
Therefore,
a complete
that's
deal breaker.
where I like never got that. It was always like, yeah, I'm a very humble person. I'm like, eh.
Well, see, I'm a control freak. So if I meet somebody that is also controlling, in where I can kind of like sense it a little bit, as in like he will order first, or when the waiter comes to the table saying that, oh, we're good. Because that's usually what I do.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
So
but I guess
don't,
it's a difference.
Yeah, so that's another deal breaker because
Yeah.
I like to be in control of the relationship or any situation.
Right.
I'm not as bad as I used to be, but I will always like a little bit of control, even if that control is delusionary. Is that a word? Delusionary?
Sure.
Delusional.
It'll be on the Straight Podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if that control is a delusion in my mind, it just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. So even if my partner is giving me some control of some things, I'll be happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you really do need that. I mean, sure. It's always going to be a delusion that I will ask my husband, like, would you like to do A or B? But in reality, it will always be the B selection that I want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
But out of respect, I will ask him A or B. And at the end, if he chooses A, I'm going to be, you know what? I really want B.
Yeah. I want D. Oh.
Oh, yes.
Just kidding. I'm a top. Look at my door. What do you see on my door right now?
On your door?
Yeah, on my door. On my handle.
I see a lock. 3 locks.
No, on my handle. What do you see on my handle?
What is that?
Go look.
Is it a lock?
Look at it.
I don't even know what that is.
Because it has to do with dating.
Why is there a light here?
Okay, so there is a flashlight on my door. I tell people it's for emergencies, but back in my hookup days, I would turn it on so I could see what the guy looked like when he came to my door.
What?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Is that why it's behind the door, not in front of it?
Yes. So I would turn it on and kind of like flash it a little bit at the guy who would come to the door, just to see if they were actually that person. Because I can't even tell you how many times guys have come to my door and they don't look like their pictures.
Of course.
Update
not.
your pictures.
I know.
Update your photographs.
This is why I would hook up with everybody that I knew in high school when I knew who they were. Unfortunately, it didn't happen after high school, unfortunately, so, oh well.
So that's what that flashlight is for. I have a flashlight at my front door to kind of, just a quick flash. It's not like an interrogation, but kind of like a quick flash of like, do you look like what you're supposed to look like?
Your profile picture. You say you're 25, but you actually look like you're 45. Sorry, yeah. Bye.
And I'm not into older gentlemen. No shade. Everyone's into their whatever they're into.
Yeah, age is nothing but a number. Remember that.
I'm just not into older gentlemen. I like younger.
It wasn't until I got older that I got into older gentlemen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's usually because they had their shit together.
Okay.
You know, the younger they were, it was more of like, oh yeah, you have a long way to go, buddy. You have a long way to go. And yeah. Mine's actually 4 years older than me, sorry. He's 4 years older. Yeah, let's not go into like some people that I know of. They're actually into 7 years older than they are.
I'm 13 olders. I am 13 years older than my partner.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not. Well, no, because it's great for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Age is nothing better than that, honestly.
He likes older guys.
Yeah, and I've known of people that have like that age gap, and it works absolutely amazing. And I actually, if anything, modeled their relationship, which is amazing. It works out. It works perfect. They have a family together, and it's amazing. I love it. And kudos and cheers to them. Cheers.
Love it. So I think, okay, one problem I see with people that are dating is they have expectations. Mm-hmm. And their expectations are really high. I'm guilty of this as well.
I am too.
We have a guy in our brain.
Correct.
Or a girl in our brain.
Correct.
That is our exact type.
Absolutely.
So I feel that when we go on the first date or looking online, we look for that type.
We do.
I will say that there have been many guys that I have been on dates with that... I'm sounding like a whore. Not many. Okay, many. There have been many guys that I have been on dates with that have been great. Like, their personality is great. They are really funny. They're really smart. Or they're just great. Their personality is great. But I'm not attracted to them.
Oh, I'm on the opposite, where I've actually been attracted to them, and they wanted nothing to do with me, which is really unfortunate. Which really sucks because, I mean, I don't know what else
I think
to
it sucks more when they're really great personality-wise, but you're not into them looks-wise. Yeah. I think that's worse.
Yeah.
Just because personality lasts longer than looks.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay?
And then they see you down, 5 years after that date, and then they actually look at you, and you've matured, obviously, and you've grown, and you look amazingly spectacular, and lost probably 30 pounds is the last time they saw you. And then they're like, wow, why didn't I choose you at the time? Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, bitch, that's why,
Because then I'll become like the guys that you're talking about, and I friend zone them, and I will tell them, hey, can we just be friends? But then they don't like that. Of course, nobody likes to be said when they're looking to date, can we just be friends?
Right.
Nobody likes that.
They never actually told me. I kind of figured that on my own. That's the thing.
But again, I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I would not do that. I would just completely ignore them.
Yeah.
But now, I'm like, hey, can we be friends? Because actually, some of my friends that I have now, we've met online.
Right.
So there's always like this scenario that can go down. You meet as a hookup. When you actually meet, you're like, oh, never mind. But then you start to talk. Because I have a friend that we met as a hookup.
Yes.
But we didn't actually hook up.
Yes.
We actually just started talking randomly.
Yeah.
And then now we're great friends.
And some of the best conversations come out of that. So you never know when you're going to find an actual person from those hookups or from those apps that are actually going to be turn out into like long-term relationships, not sexually, but like friend-wise. So even at that point, I don't say like, oh, these apps shouldn't exist or turn down on these apps. I think a lot of these apps create a community, and I think that's why I really support these apps, even though they are for a certain specification per se of what you want to do in your life. But I think a lot of them turn out to be like great friendships, great relationships, and support system. And that's ultimately what I really like to see in these apps, is that there's support system.
Especially in the gay world.
Correct.
Because the gay world, it's hard to meet friends out. I'm sure it happens.
Yeah.
But I think that most friendships come from online connections.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what... Because I've also met people that I've actually hooked up with.
Right.
And then after the first time, we're like, oh, that wasn't really that good. But then we had that same conversation again, and then we become friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have people that we meet, no connection at all, we have sex, never see them again. Or we see them out socially.
Exactly.
But I would never go up to them.
I really need to get on these apps now. I want friends!
I mean, but everyone... Okay, I will say that when you're on the apps, people say looking for friends.
Yeah.
Which I always say, bitch, it's 3 a.m. Nobody needs a friend at 3 a.m. We know what you're
Yes, you for. Do! All of you who listen to...
But again, to each their own...
on this 3 a.m. Y volver.
Girl, you don't need a friend at 3 a.m. Girl. So I'm just saying, so the expectations sometimes will be false, but... Maybe, even though I am guilty of this, maybe give that person a second date. I have been out with somebody that I was not attracted to at all. There was no attraction physically on my end. But I enjoyed his company.
Correct.
He was funny.
Yeah,
he made me laugh. We had good conversation. So it's like, okay, well, let me maybe give this a second chance. So I gave him a second date, and then we kissed. I just was not into it. And it just sucks because I was like, well... Then I tell him, you know what, I'm not feeling it, like, can we be friends? And of course, he said, he wasn't very nice about it. But he said no. And that was it.
That was it. That was the end of it.
Which is fine. Because, I mean, there's so many more fish in the sea. It's just really hard to meet gay friends that you don't want to fuck.
Which I think that's another app, Fish in the Sea.
No, Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish, whatever you want to call them.
Who are not a sponsor. Plenty of Fish.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Did you know that the big gay ones are Grindr, Scruff? I think gays also use Bumble or Tinder. But this mainly... What? It's mainly Grindr, Scruff, Jacked. But Jacked is not that good.
So what are the lesbians out there? More of the... I know that they do the gay ones, but I mean...
They have lesbian apps. I'm not sure of the names, but they do have lesbian apps. Lesbian relationships are completely different, I think, than gay men relationships.
Yeah. But on that note...
Because they're women.
Yeah.
And we're men. So
different
the stereotypical
mentality.
Meaning of women emotionally and men emotionally stick when it comes to guy-guy relationships and girl-girl relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we all had our phases. Don't lie to me. We all had our phases in college and high school, of course. So we all experimented, of course.
Huge whore. But whatever. We all get through it. We get penicillin. It's fantastic.
We do. Some girlfriends just move up to Northern California and forget about us. Which is what happened to me. But that's all right.
Well.
It's all right. That's probably what drove me to be a straight woman. Anywho,
well, we've come to the end of this episode.
Yes, we have. I hope you've taken some of our advice, some of those,
our advice, well, okay, so let's do this. How about my number one advice is just be yourself. When you're on
absolutely.
Date. Be yourself, even if you're loud, crazy, feminine, masculine, or in the middle. Be yourself on the first date. Don't be that Instagram girl.
No.
We all see out there that's not real.
Correct.
Be yourself.
Instagram boy.
Yes. Do you ever look at the mic like you're actually talking to somebody? Because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking at the mic like I'm actually talking to somebody.
Look at me, microphone, like you're somebody.
Be yourself, even though... So that way, that person will actually fall for the person that is really there in front of them.
Yes.
What's your advice?
And always have that backup friend. I know what you mean. But like for those of you that are like early in the dating scene, always have that friend that's gonna, back you up and take you out of those really, really bad experiences. You really don't need that, especially if you're first dating. And you know what? If you don't know, just friggin' Instagram me, and I would be happy to be your person to save you in those really bad first dates. I'm sorry. And of course, I agree with Jason. Be yourself. Be yourself as much as you can, because it all comes down to just.
Because if they don't like you, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Move on to the next person.
Yeah, and you are the best version of you.
Yes.
So you are beautiful, you are strong, you are confident. For all those men and women out there listening, you are the most amazing person you can possibly be in your present day life. So.
I will also say when I was dating, like going on dates a lot, I would make a list on my phone of questions. Because you know how sometimes like you get lost in the conversation? I mean, again, sometimes silence is golden, but... Yes. Make a list of questions that you want to get to know somebody about.
Correct.
And that will start a snowball effect.
Correct.
Of other things coming in. Yeah.
Yes, and that's how you really know if the conversation's going off really smoothly. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you have to literally look down on your whatever phone or piece of paper that you've written it down on, that's when you kind of know you're like, maybe this is not going to work out. But I also agree with giving people second chances. Second chances always a good thing too.
Yes.
And by all means, a big plus if they are animal lovers.
Oh, doggies.
Yes.
Fuck cats, but doggies.
Yes, all the cats can go wherever. But doggies, yes, absolutely. If they're dog lovers, they are a keeper. That's all I'm saying.
We want to thank all the people who have commented and subscribed. We really appreciate it. This is our 3rd episode, so we're just getting started.
Yes.
We're being as patient as possible, but we love all you guys.
Please,
my name is Jason.
To subscribe, comment, and email us at thestraightpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. My name is Jason. Real Men Ride on Instagram. Stephanie,
and you can follow me on Steffi881988, as if the year that I was born didn't give it away, on Instagram. And that's 2 F's for Frank. Steffi881988. So yeah, follow us on Instagram, and don't forget again to subscribe, comment, and leave. Even if you don't like it, even if you say this is the worst podcast ever, we look forward to those comments. Don't worry about it. We will absolutely consider it, and
because they can only help us get better.
Exactly. Work harder on making this podcast better for you guys. And don't forget to also rate it.
Please
do so. And email us. We'd love to hear from your experiences.
Yeah, what is your horror stories?
Your relationships.
Or any advice.
First dates, horrible first dates, amazing first dates. Mm-hmm. That's a whole other ball game too. There are some amazing dates that I could possibly go into, but that's another podcast. But we really wanted to give you guys advice on those,
just a high level,
exactly. Just getting through those.
Anything you want to plug?
So yeah, and then also I also want to give a brief shout out to one of our favorites here, one of my favorite drag queens, Miss April Showers here. So she is actually going to be doing her Lights Camera Brunch on Sunday, April 7th. Again, coming soon at
West Hollywood,
Rage, right? West Hollywood. Yes. So do your reservations now. Reservations at rageweho.com. Again, it is on Sunday, April 7th, 2019. The show starts at 1 p.m. It's hosted by Miss April Showers, and it is a Disney-themed drag brunch. So don't forget to reserve your table.
I'm also a spin instructor, unionride.com. Ride is with a Y, all one word. Again, we thank you guys so much for listening. Comment, rate. We love you.
We love you all. Please, please send us your email, send us your comments, subscribe, and do share the podcast with your friends and family members. Probably not the little ones under 16 years old, but anybody over that age, absolutely share, comment, rate, share. Hit us up on Instagram. We are always willing to hear what you'd like to hear on the podcast and what makes you laugh, what makes you cry, what makes us, and what makes you you. So we love to hear from you too.
Well, Stephanie.
Jason.
Bye.
Bye everyone. Ciao, ciao. Besos. Mwah. Hasta la próxima.